Okay, you're on.
We're on. Oh, there we are. Karen, do that one more time. Do that one more time. There, because I got a little bossy.
Yes. Hello.
A little bossy?
Hello,
I was just saying maybe a lot bossy.
we're running. Hello.
We are. This is number 13.
Lucky number 13.
Podcast.
I like the number 13.
It is.
How's everybody doing?
They're not going to answer
Doing
you
good.
back. Oh, you mean us?
Well, maybe they could.
Good.
Oh, we do.
Good.
Yes. Oh, we're all doing good.
Yeah. What's going on with you?
Well, I'm getting ready to go to Ireland again.
What are you going with?
She doesn't tell us.
Oh, it's a secret. Oh, okay. Is it soon?
What you
Can
don't
I come with you?
What you don't know is before we filmed, I said, don't ask me when I'm going.
I was in the kitchen.
She was.
Because you never tell somebody when you're going to be gone because
right,
people.
right.
God, I
will,
give people dates, so you kidding me?
I don't
Well,
do that.
where you live, it's a little bit different, but yeah.
No, so yes, I'm going to Ireland
In a while.
sometime before the end of the year.
Okay.
Okay.
And so we're going to go visit family again. And
Oh,
so it's a
nice.
spur of the moment trip. We just
Good.
decided to, go for it, kind of the theme of my things.
Right, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, Niall and the girls, I'm sure, are really excited.
Oh yeah, it's with COVID we haven't been since,
Right,
so
right.
and that's something we've missed. So we're excited to go over there.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to have some of his family come over here this year, which was great. But we haven't seen everybody since
Yeah.
before COVID hit. So we're really looking forward to doing, and that we can
Yeah.
fit, a trip in before the end of the year, which is nice. So.
That's
Cool.
I think of like packing for something like that, and I get agita. Sounds like how does one pack for both your daughters and Niall and yourself? And
Everybody fends for themselves.
Yeah, that's
the
the best
girls
way
are
of
old
doing it.
enough. My husband is great. He does his own. I just worry about
Yeah.
myself and
Okay.
make sure the animals are.
Yeah.
That's the biggest logistics.
Yeah.
How, you're going to get away with and make sure your house taking care of your animals are.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Well, you've got good
Yeah.
friends that will
I
help you.
sure
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Definitely.
So, but no, we're looking forward to
I
seeing
think I'm
Ireland
going away
again.
those dates too.
I've already penciled you in my calendar.
Okay, I'm staying here.
But one thing we're hoping to see when we're over there this year, we haven't figured out if we can make it work. Is we're going to go to. We would like to go to Cove. I've never been there,
Chill.
which is the last
To where,
part.
Copenhagen?
Cove,
Oh.
which is in Cork, but
Oh,
it's the
okay.
last port where Titanic took off from.
Oh.
And so we're hoping
wow.
to get there this time.
Yeah.
Very
Are you going to take the Titanic?
She didn't. She didn't. No,
No.
we're getting a little loopy right
Yeah.
now.
I know.
And we haven't even opened
And
the
that's
wine.
before the wine.
I know.
Oh, I know. Absolutely.
I learned a new word. You know
I
how
know.
we
Sure
all
you
love
did.
words.
Did you folks enjoy our word podcast? Because I
think it's one of the most popular
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, I love words
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, do you know if you're afraid or if you get a chill that your hair or goosebumps,
Right.
the goosebumps and like your hair kind of bristles?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a word for that.
And it's not bristle?
No.
Oh,
What was
It is. Hang on.
Here.
No. I know.
She's trying to sound it
I'm
out.
trying to sound it out because it's a long one.
Oh my God.
Horripilation.
Can't we just say goosebumps?
Yeah.
No, because this is such a cool.
Horripilation.
Horripilation. HORRIPILATION. Bristling of the hair on your skin.
Sherlock's drinking as well.
Yeah.
And
And I just thought it was a very cool word.
That is a cool
where
word.
did you discover that word?
Dictionary.com. I get,
Oh,
it was
okay.
the word of the day a couple of days ago, and I said, horripilation. What the heck is that?
That's pretty
So
awesome.
yeah. So.
Oh, I love
So
that.
the next time you get the chills, you could say, "Oh, I'm
Okay,
experiencing horripilation."
And I'd be like, do you need to go to the hospital?
And I'm also rigorous today.
I have used Barricabas. That one I did like. I don't know about horripilation.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What do you have going on, Carol?
Well, I just sent the two of you the draft that I'm working on for the, and it's so funny because today in my memories, I got reminded of a review I got of A Little Faith, and it was a really awesome review, and so that made me feel good to see that. And so, A Little Faith, the book I'm working on, or I've worked on, is its sequel is to A Little Faith. So we'll see what that happens. But I also have another book in my mind of what I want to do, and I'm actually, for the first time ever, I'm going to participate in NaNoWriMo, meaning a novel, something, whatever. So you write a novel, in 30 days you write out a novel. I don't believe in rushing a novel, so I am going to copy and paste each day part of what I've been working on into it, because it just bothers me, that whole idea of rushing a work and thinking it's done. So yeah, so I'm gonna be doing
Well, maybe that could be like a writing exercise to
Well,
see, just give into the process.
Absolutely, I think that is good. And there have been books that have been discovered in this.
Right.
So we'll see what happens.
But you're not going to do it that way.
No, I already finished. I want my book out there, so I'm gonna do this one.
Okay.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So that's not cheating?
No, I don't.
No?
No, I looked it up. I researched it, and it's not
Okay.
cheating. No.
Okay.
So, but thank you for asking. Thank you. I'm gonna be a little cheater. No. That's okay.
Okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to give you a little wine
I was
quiz.
going to say.
No, I'm going to give you a quiz first.
Oh.
She wants some wine.
No, you have to wait. So, I get that once a week. I get an email newsletter from Wine Folly.
Okay.
And it's a lot of cool facts on it. I really like it. It's very short to read, and they only send it once a week. And, I think a lot of times it's geared towards wine collectors. Because, sometimes they're promoting these wines that are like
We're
really
wine
expensive.
collectors.
No, yeah. Okay. But anyway, it's talking here. Okay, so I'm going to, first of all, I don't know if I did this the last time.
Well,
This
well,
about
let's
how
have you
long,
if you did.
like once you open up a bottle of wine, how long
I don't think we did.
you could do it.
I think you wanted to, but we didn't do it.
Okay, so anyway, this isn't part of the quiz because I'm just going to
alright.
tell you unless you know it.
I don't know.
Like a red wine, like after you open it,
Okay.
it's good from 3 to 5 days if you recork it
Oh,
or
yes.
reseal
Yeah.
it.
So I guess
Okay.
I don't have to rush to drink.
No. White and rosé wine is 5 to 7 days
Okay.
in the refrigerator.
Right,
You have to
yeah.
refrigerate. A full-bodied white wine is 3 to 5 days. So that's like Chardonnay.
Wow.
Fortunately, I drink it really quickly.
You don't have to worry about it.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Sparkling and canned wine is 1 to 3 days, and they suggest you use a champagne cork on the
Right, right.
sparkling
Okay.
bottle, not on the can, obviously.
Or you can put a knife metal into it and it holds the spark.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Natasha taught me that.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Natasha.
Well, remember, what was his name? Our wine rep in Turn of the Corkscrew, Patrick?
Okay.
Whatever. He said you don't even have to put a cork on it.
Oh, that's
He
right.
said just put it in the refrigerator, don't even cork in it. And he was right, it never went flat, You could do that for a couple of days. And then fortified and boxed wine, 28 days.
Of course.
Wow.
Okay, but this is the quiz part.
Okay.
So from how many bottles of wine do you think you get from a barrel of wine?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask how many bottles of wine do
You
you
drink a week?
Yeah. All right, how many bottles of wine do you get in a barrel?
64.
Ooh. All right, I don't know how big the barrel is.
It's a
what we're
wine barrel,
like
yeah,
a
like
wine
a
barrel.
typical
Yeah.
wine barrel.
Just pick a number. Come on.
Okay, all right, wait. 24.
From a wine barrel?
Yeah.
A
Okay.
barrel of wine is like that big.
Then apparently I'm wrong.
Apparently, it's 300 bottles.
Oh, wow.
I was thinking the really big
Yeah.
bottles.
Oh, okay. Okay, so, well, this you probably know. You should know from Turn of the Corkscrew because we had to figure it out. How many glasses of wine do you get from the typical size, 50
What kind of
milliliters.
glass though? Like,
How many,
Like
well,
a
what
glass
is your
like-
typical pour? Your typical pour of a glass of wine is what?
Let's
Around
just-
5
all right,
ounces,
so-
okay? It's like 5.5
so
ounces.
I'm gonna say 4 glasses.
Okay,
Yeah, 4 glasses.
it's 5 glasses.
Oh,
I think it
Yeah.
depends on your audience.
Yeah.
That's what I think,
No,
yeah.
because they're going by the pour being 5.4 ounces, and then
Ah,
we get 5 glasses.
I'm
I
doing
remember that we
wrong.
had to figure that out.
Yeah,
We were trying to price out things, so
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
so that's why we bought the little thingies.
Yes.
The little carafe.
The crafts.
Okay.
To measure.
How many bottles of wine do you think you get from a ton of grapes?
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
I'm gonna get yelled at because like she'll yell at me.
No, I
You
won't
go
yell
first.
at you.
You
Go
go
ahead,
first.
first.
No.
Bottles of
What,
wine.
from
yeah.
a what now? For how
A
many?
ton of grapes. How
A
many bottles
ton.
of wine?
I in my head I've got Lucy
Yes, me
with
too.
barefoot and with mushing the grapes in the I Love Lucy episode. I've dated myself. I really had a good time watching.
I was just reading something about Lucille Ball.
Oh,
But I digress.
Yeah.
Alright, how many bottles of wine from a ton of grapes? So take a wild guess. Take a wild guess. A ton of grapes.
all right,
2,000 pounds.
And we can have our audience members.
Yeah, take a guess,
I'm a
Anya.
social worker. You can't give me math.
Alright, let's say, I'm gonna say 1,500 bottles.
Okay, and what are you gonna say?
24.
$1!
No, I don't know how many, like, do they?
Just
with you.
guess.
I'm taking the skin off the grapes. in my
No,
head.
you don't
Okay.
Oh, that gives it the color.
You're not gonna win anything, just say
Yeah.
so.
Oh, okay, 500.
Okay, the answer is you were closer,
Oh.
but 700 plus bottles of
Oh,
wine
okay.
from a ton of grapes.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I almost.
All right, how many? This scared me because
What?
this. All right, so listen.
Oh, is this gonna make us
Lord.
not wanna drink wine?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like that'll happen.
From an average bottle of dry red, how many calories?
Calories.
No, say don't, no, we're over.
I know, it is, it's disturbing.
1,200.
No.
No.
More?
Less.
Oh, okay. Then I'm good.
Let's just leave it there.
550 calories.
Oh, that's it?
That's a lot of calories.
No.
Like if you're on a 1,200 calorie diet,
but
that's
wait.
half of your calories.
So you
If
gauge.
you drink the whole bottle.
That's really not bad.
So you drink-
And that's if the wine is 13.5%
Yeah.
alcohol by volume.
Because I put it in my Fitbit, my calories, and whenever I have a glass, I always say, oh, it's 300 calories per glass.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's less.
500.
Yeah, it's,
No, it's less.
no, for a
A
glass,
glass, it's 500.
it's 550 for a
Oh.
whole bottle.
Oh, for a whole bottle.
If you drank the whole bottle of dry red. So
Oh.
divide it by,
See?
well, you're not getting
Oh.
5 glasses out of your bottle of wine, right?
Yeah.
So you
Oh,
figure
okay.
out how many ounces.
I thought you meant per glass.
No.
No,
I'm all right
no,
with
no,
that.
no.
I'm okay with that.
All right, so now,
Alright.
all right.
So
All right,
yours.
so now I'm going to open up this wine here, and this wine,
Pour me 1/5 of those 550 calories.
this wine is Chateau Megia Tokaji. It is.
Oh.
We're entertaining our.
Tokaji. Tokaji. This, what?
You're
Well, you were
supposed
to
to
hit me.
slap it.
Yeah, you were trying to hit me.
All right, so this is a Hungarian wine.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's a Hungarian white. It's made from the ferment grape. Now, usually the ferment grape that's usually made in Hungary, they have this very famous dessert wine. It is very, very sweet. But this particular wine is not the sweet kind. This is
Yeah.
a dry wine. I think it's medium body, and but the dessert one, the classic one, is evidently a very expensive wine too. So.
Okay.
It's from the region in Hungary, Tokaj.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So it's dry and exuberant, dry Tokoji. The ferment grape is characterized by lemon-like flavors, spiked with a bit of ginger.
Did you have
Stop
some
making
before
fun
you
of
read
me.
this?
I can't, well, it's dark in here. Spiked with a bit of ginger, green apple. And you know, there's gotta be a quiz after this. I'm gonna ask you what's in the wine, alright?
Ginger.
And even mild peppercorn.
Oh, I like
Give the
peppercorn.
impression of Sauvignon Blanc's spicier cousin.
Okay, let's
So I hope that
taste
it doesn't taste like Sauvignon Blanc, because I don't like Sauvignon Blanc.
I like Sauvignon Blanc.
I like Sauvignon Blanc. Here, all right.
Here we go. Yay!
Like a true Hungarian woman.
Okay, here we go. Let's do a little
Oh,
taste,
Elsie.
see if you like it.
That's
Do
it.
you want a whole glass?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
alright, I didn't know if you would like it or not.
It doesn't matter.
I have no
That's the
idea.
only one on the table. I'll drink it.
I have no idea what it
That's
tastes like.
hysterical.
This was
That is hysterical.
$16.99 in Total Wine.
Oh, how much was it? Say it again. 16.
$16.99
Oh,
in
okay.
Total Wine.
Okay. And Anya, you really don't want to taste it?
I'm okay for
Are you sure? Hey,
She's like,
I
no.
think you scared her off with the
Yeah.
ginger and the peppercorn.
I love ginger.
Me too.
I like pepper.
All right, we
I
have
like
to toast.
Gilligan.
All right, we're toasting because this is going to be election.
Yes,
Oh,
thank you. I was just gonna say that. So let's
let's vote.
toast to the Democrats. Sorry, people, I don't like them.
I got a blue glass, just so you know.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah.
And I have a green one.
What purple?
I
But we'll see.
Okay, let's see what it tastes like. I'm scared.
Oh, it smells nice.
Oh, it's good.
I like it.
Let me take another sip.
It's
I
good.
make
Are you sure
myself
you don't
go.
want some?
You know, this is a bit sweet though. There is a sweetness to it. Not heavy sweet.
I don't taste the
It's a little-
sweetness,
I don't
but it
taste
isn't.
sweetness. I don't
No, I don't
I do.
taste sweetness. It's
I like that it's a little dry. You know me. I
I
like.
taste
Yeah.
a little sweet. I don't know where I'm
All
coming
right,
from.
okay, because you're sweet.
Did you just have a mint or something?
No.
I'm just natural.
It's.
No,
that
I
kind
don't
of-
taste sweet, but I taste. I think I taste the lemon. I think
Maybe-
on the back of the
You know
tongue,
what?
I'm
Maybe that's
tasting
what
the
it is.
lemon.
That's probably what it is. Let's see. I don't taste the peppercorn.
Mm. No,
No.
you want? I'm gonna get the pepper.
I taste. I think I taste the apple.
Could be the fruit. That's what it is. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
fruit is sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's really good. Well,
All right.
very good.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I would
no,
drink
I'm
this.
surprised because
No, I would
like
drink
you
this.
said-
Yeah.
So it. So you don't like Sauvignon Blanc, but you don't.
This tastes nothing. Sauvignon Blanc to me tastes like grapefruit juice.
Really?
Oh, really?
That's all I can
Maybe
taste
you had
when
a
I
bad-
have it. I have had so many different kinds of Sauvignon Blanc, and I've tried to like it. I just do not like it.
Okay.
And this doesn't have that too much fruit in it.
This is
You
really
know.
good.
Yeah, I like it.
It's
I think
refreshing.
maybe
It
the
is
lemon
really good.
is calming
I
everything
would
else
It's
down.
really enjoy this like on a hot summer day. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's.
Uh-huh.
But you know
Uh-huh.
what? Don't let-
I swear to God, I was just about to start singing that.
I am sorry.
It's kind of yes.
I have to say
Kind
the
of.
last few times we've like tried different things because in the
Yes.
beginning I was sticking to like
The wines that we like.
Yeah.
But exactly. But you know
Yeah.
like the gin gimlet you taught.
Yeah, it was
that-
good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't love it because well number one it kicked my ass. I think that was part of it. It really, yeah it did. And then what was it? The port we had for our
Yes.
last podcast that was in the. So this is good that we're
Yeah.
trying different
I
things.
brought a couple of other ones too that I'm gonna do. I have the number one wine according to Total Wine. The number one wine for 2022
Okay.
is actually a Cabernet.
I just have to point out Griselda, who is our hairdresser.
Mm-hmm.
She told me yesterday
Griselda.
that she had been in Total Wine. I'm gonna
She
stop.
went there.
She went to Total Wine, and because her son told her to go, and she goes, "You need to talk about Total Wine." And I told her, I said, "We have talked about it."
Every time
Yeah.
I do the wine tasting, because that's where I get my wine.
So there you are, Griselda. So I'm going to let you know that we talked about you and
Yes.
the wine.
I don't even go there, Griselda. I have it delivered to my house. It's so convenient.
No, I haven't been there at all because I just don't want to go
I
that
stopped
far.
going during
Yeah.
the pandemic, and in the beginning I would go and just do the curbside pickup. but it's chaotic
That's
there.
why I don't wanna
That
go.
parking
I
lot,
can't.
you can't back out of a spot,
Yeah,
you
no,
can't
thank
find
you.
a spot, it was,
No.
and I said, why am I torturing myself?
I just joined a wine club, so the National Geographic Wine Club, so I got all excited when it got delivered. And I was just
Yeah.
like- and Natasha kept saying, "You're sharing that with me. You're sharing that with
Did
me."
you try any of them yet?
Oh hell yeah!
Are they good?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
they send you good ones?
Oh yeah!
Oh, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, very good.
So I'll have to
okay.
check that out.
Yes.
Give us a referral. You'll get a discount or something.
Ooh, that's true.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay.
But
All right.
what we should ask is if you have any, ideas of drinks or things that you want us to try, put it in a comment, because I know when I was with Griselda, hi Griselda, again, she had said there was a drink she wanted us to try, and I think it was tequila, which I was like, I don't know if I could drink tequila.
I'm
But
not tequila
it's a good,
lover.
I like, there's other drinks that maybe you'd
Yeah.
like us to try for you if you're interested in it.
Right,
Yeah.
because we
We're
are
the guinea
books,
pigs.
booze, and banter.
And Banter.
That's right.
But I
This
guess.
was a good selection. Thank you,
Yes.
Peggy.
Yes.
I know, well,
So let's hear about the book.
The book. This is my book that I'm doing. Now, I got this book, which from, I believe, your store. This is called Lies the Mushroom Pickers Told by Tom Phelan.
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 Really?
Phelan.
Yeah, Phelan.
Because I
Yeah.
used to work with a woman,
That's
He
what
and
pronounces
she
it
pronounced it
Tom.
Phelan.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. Okay,
He
so I
pronounces
apologize.
it
I
Tom.
wasn't.
Yeah.
we
that
did
was-
events with him.
And it's autographed to me, well, to the Vaughns, so
Oh,
from
okay.
Tom Phelan. And I, had this, I bought it for one, I had it on my library, like probably a lot of you who read books, you probably have stacks and stacks of books, and that you just think, I'm going to get to,
Yeah.
and then, but you still buy more books.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to do a book and pull one off my bookshelf that I had intended to read, but never got around to
Okay.
reading. So this was the one that I chose to do. So I read it, and I just finished it a couple days ago. Now, this came out in 2015. He has other books. He's got at least five other books that I'm aware of. It's by Arcade Publishing.
Yes.
And I enjoyed the book. Now, this is set... Well, first I have to say a few common things. Just to
That's
make...
the one about his childhood, right?
No.
Is it? No?
I
Okay.
hope not. God.
No.
Okay, so
He did one about his childhood.
what's different, and I think you'll appreciate this, the vocabulary in this book is amazing. There are words to make you kick dictionary.com to the curb. I wrote down some of them that he used. Incognoscenti.
Oh,
Yeah.
Puerile.
That was on dictionary.com,
Oh,
that word, incognoscenti.
Puerile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ecumenical. Hore. Obstreperous.
Yeah.
Loquacity.
That's
is,
talkativeness.
talkativeness.
Yeah.
But I mean, he throws them in there, which
Yeah.
not a lot of writers will do
Yeah.
that in
Right,
a way.
right.
And it's very, I appreciate it. It wasn't offensive, it wasn't obnoxious, but it was just done in such a really nice way.
Yeah.
It made me go and look up a lot of words too, which
Yeah.
I like to do as
Yeah.
well. So I enjoyed that. The format of the book, I know these are just procedural things, I'll get into this, but I loved the format of it. I give it an A+ for the format of this book. Okay, what I loved about this, I put 3 exclamation marks. This is a table of contents. It's an actual table, old school
wow.
table of contents.
Oh.
It's so kind of cool. You don't see that nowadays.
Yeah.
No, you
With
don't.
the titles, I just really like
Oh,
that.
so for the chapters.
For the chapters, right?
That's awesome.
Also, the chapters, I'm going to show you a sample of them. Here. Here's a chapter. They have chapter summaries at the beginning.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And it's helpful because when I
Yeah.
was going back to take notes for this book and I wanted to see where was that written, can I go back? I just had to go to the chapter summary and go, oh, here it was. It's going to be in this chapter. I didn't have to go back. Really, you got awesome. Another cool thing about this book, I just loved it. There was a cast of characters. There's a lot of characters in this
that's
book.
helpful.
That's so helpful.
It is helpful. It's really helpful, Tom Phelan. It was awesome to have this cast of characters.
So you like Cliff Notes?
Yeah, here. But the best part, now this is a book that takes place in Ireland.
Sure.
My husband's from Ireland, so I'm partial to Irish. Anything to do with Ireland, I really love it. In the back, and there's another book I'm reading now that has this, but this was really helpful for you guys who may not be familiar with Irish terminology, a glossary.
Oh, okay.
So, like, when he's talking about, something in the batten, so what's a batten? You don't know what a batten is. So
Yeah.
go look it up, and it's
Yeah.
like, you could,
Oh,
well
that's
done.
good,
So
yeah.
A+ with the format of the book. I just had to point that out for readers
Oh, that's
because
so awesome.
it was really great to see. Now, it's set in an Irish small town, going, and I'm trying to read, it's ultimately, it's a novel, but it's really also a mystery. Now, there are two mysteries, in this book, and you don't get to what that is, though, until probably, I wrote, it's like page 200 and something,
Wow.
but it's all building, so it's very suspenseful, so it's building up to what actually it is. And so in the meantime, though, I said it takes a long time to get there, but at the same time, he really masterfully builds a relationship with these characters that are appearing for it, and there's it's lovely the way he does it, and I don't want to give too much away because I don't want to even tell you what the mystery is, because that's part of it, and so, but there are two of them, and I just think it's great.
And the lies, right?
One of the things it took for so long just to figure out what the mushroom pickers were, because I thought, all right, this was going to be a book about mushroom pickers. No, and I didn't even know who the heck it. And I was like, when am I getting to this? Where are these mushroom pickers?
Did you look in the glossary?
Yeah, I did. No, I looked in the table of contents because I wanted to know, and sure enough, they have there's a chapter. It's all not until chapter 36 you get to
my God.
the mushroom pickers.
Yeah.
But I thought you would have heard something about them ahead of time, but no, you don't. So he had a great without getting to, this is not going to get into too much, but there's something I wanted to point out on one of the pages, page 129. He had a really nice discussion about, I can't see, it's so dark in here. Okay.
I know it is.
Well, the way with the lighting.
Which gave me a thought, and I thought kind of a discussion is, I'll just read something, and he goes, this is Patrick talking, and he's one of the main characters, and he says, "What are you asking, Sam?" Patrick said. "Is do some people make it easier for others to mistreat them? You said yourself that Father Coughlin and Lawrence Gorman behaved so badly that they had no one to stand up for them when they died. They made it easy for people to dislike them. But did they go to the other side of the line by their behavior, or did we place them there?" And then another character, Elsie, says, she's an older lady who's also part of this character. She goes, It's all a matter of likes and dislikes. We don't like rats, and our dislike makes it easy for us to kill them. And so then I don't want to say whatever the mystery is, but it's like in some way, do we like certain things? Are things bad just because we don't like them? Or are we putting things in a line? Like, for example, if we were to, okay, I'm going to say this. A few days ago, we found it.
Can you put a pause on that for
sure.
a minute? Because we're going
we're talking a lot already.
Yeah, we're going to have to stop.
Okay, we'll pause it.
And we're going to continue.
All right, but it has something to do with this book, so we'll pause it.
Yes, we're going to keep talking about this book.
Okay, because this book was really good.
I want to read that.
Yeah.
How many minutes did it say we had left?
1 minute, 28
well
seconds.
Okay. All right, we flipped the thing. Going back.
We're going back. So we're talking about Liza Mushroom.
Oh, okay. That Liza Mushroom Pickers told us, and we were talking about likes and dislikes, and it kind of reminded me of something. As I finished this book, a weird thing happened right afterwards. Is we found a field mouse that was just in my backyard, not moving at all, but it was alive. There was not a mark on this mouse. Its eyes were open. It was breathing very heavily. And it looked like a juvenile, not a baby, but not a full grown. Mm-hmm. And so, what do we do? You just can't leave, whatever. Yeah. So my husband, picked it up, and, but we do it, and I was worried about this. So maybe it's just stunned, so we put it in a safe enclosure that I have out there because, I have all this set up, and it was just all set up there, ready to go. And so, and I checked on it after my husband went to work. It was still in the same position. It's almost like it was paralyzed, and so it was going to be cold at night. So, of course, I wrapped it up, and I,
had a little mouse comforter,
had a microwave,
like
like a
that.
heat pad, like no, and I'm like going through all these weird extremes, about like 'cause I wanted to keep it warm at least, And long story short, the morning it was dead. Okay, so it died, but I thought about that passage that I just read, and the reason because when I was telling my husband, he called me on his way home from work the next day, and he says. He goes, did he make it? I said, no. I said, the little mouse didn't make it. He goes, Judy, that wasn't a mouse. He goes, I think it was a juvenile rat. And I said, what? Right? And he goes, I don't know. Maybe it was. And we looked it up later. We really couldn't tell, to be honest with you, because they kind of have a lot of similarities. But I was like, oh. I said, here we normally would trap a rat, but and kill a rat.
Yeah.
But if that was a bird I found, or a puppy, or a kitten,
no, you're right. Yeah.
I would have helped it. Now, would I have thought twice if I didn't think it was a mouse? Would I have if it was a rat? And why?
Yeah.
Because we put in this box.
Yeah.
Or a line. Not saying I want to have rats. No, I don't want rats.
No.
And I still think it was a mouse. But it's just interesting to see, what would you do? Would you do that if we all love animals? But do we have a limit to what we would
it's
help?
the same too.
A snake or
if it's outside, I wouldn't bother it. But I wouldn't pick up a mouse because they do carry diseases and stuff. So if it was paralyzed, I might move it to like under a bush or something. I mean, I rescue spiders if they're in my house. I don't kill them. But it's really funny because along that whole point, the other day I was thinking, because in the fall I get inundated with crickets. Regular crickets.
We get spider
cave
crickets here.
crickets, they're spider crickets.
Yeah.
I have house centipedes. So I get all these weird bugs, and house centipedes could run like 55 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But I was looking them up, and they're segmented. I said, when you kill them, like they kind of like.
Right.
But I thought, believe it or not, if insects were cute, we wouldn't kill them. If they were like cute,
Yeah, you don't
and
kill
like
ladybugs.
You don't kill a ladybug.
Oh, never. I would never. I don't even kill spiders.
Right.
I don't kill spiders.
Yeah.
And I never used to kill crickets.
Lightning bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are certain things, but it's like you see. The only reason why I kill the crickets is because they'll keep me up all night. They actually do.
They've gotten there.
They do. They go in my kitchen and they chirp all night long.
That's why you have a cat.
And that's somebody told me that. Was that you that told me that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that ties into this because the mystery kind of involves this kind of theme. It's like do we care more?
Yeah.
If the crime is against somebody who's on the wrong side of that line.
Right.
Do we care about justice? Do we care about the truth?
Well, that
or
happens in
not?
our justice system
Absolutely.
too. It depends if you're poor or a person of color or you could be treated very, very differently than like somebody who is who is white and comes from like an upper middle class family and can afford a lawyer.
Well, that's what I wanted to just kind of say and tie that into it. Great book if you really want to get into if you want like a different culture like Irish lit. This is it. This is we met him.
Several times we've met him.
I gotta tell you one thing about him is that he didn't publish until he was about 55 years old. His first book. He was older when he finally got
There's
the
a
publisher
picture of him.
deal.
Yeah, this is a picture of him here.
Yep, that's him.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's a lovely man, and
Very nice.
we actually.
He has a lot of books too. If you look in the
I
front.
did,
Yeah.
he had at least 5 of them, and I didn't check to see if he's done more since. Then.
After this, he did because we did an event with him St. Patrick's Day in Theodore's, right?
Oh, okay.
Didn't we?
Yes, theaters,
Yeah.
yep.
Well, I'll definitely read more of his. I really enjoyed his writing and spot on with the language. A funny
She
line in
do
there.
all yours.
What I do? It's my book. Is why do the there's a line in there that said Elsie said it if the Catholics and Protestants they would get along better, but each one of them are afraid that they'd have to admit the idiocracy of their own religions.
Oh, that's really
something like that. I butchered that, but it was something
The
like
idiocy.
idiocy. It's really funny. I said
Wow.
it's true.
Well, thank you,
Oh,
Judy.
well, thank
Tom,
you.
Tom will be
Very good.
really happy.
Oh, and you know
Yeah,
what?
I'll let him
It's
know.
been a book I've been meaning to get
And
to,
I had
and
no
I'm glad I
idea.
did.
I had no idea you were going to share that, but that was a nice surprise.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, awesome.
Here we are.
Well, we can do our topic, and it's
Which
my
is yours.
turn.
Yay.
And the reason I picked this topic is because just a few days from now, it's going to be the election, and it can be very, very stressful and concerning, and without getting into sides or whatever, I feel like a democracy is really very vulnerable right now.
No,
But-
I agree.
What we're going to talk about, though, is I just have questions for Peggy and Judy, and it deals with voting in the midterms. And so the very first question is, were you raised to talk about politics in your family?
No, we didn't talk about politics. I know that my dad was a Republican, but he's not like he wouldn't have been like a MAGA guy.
Right.
You know, my dad was a conservative. Did we talk about, I knew he was a Republican. He encouraged me when I was old enough. He said, now you register to vote.
Mm-hmm.
He worked for the federal government. And, but no, I didn't. Maybe with my older siblings he did, but I don't remember. We were always all like in the same place, you know.
How about you?
I don't remember, a lot of discussions about national politics as
Yeah.
much, but I do
Wow.
remember, vividly a lot of discussions involving, blue collar issues that affect blue collar workers. So my parents were, they both worked and both worked in union jobs. My mother was very active in her union. She was
Okay.
union rep, then she was a steward, and then went up from there. And as a children, we walked the picket lines, with her, and she made both of my parents taught us very, the issues about unions and why they were important and the work that they've done for people and got laws changed, over time. So, I remember that those
Yeah.
sort of issues. But as far as certain candidates, I don't remember too much. It just could have been I didn't pay attention to, in that way. But
Yeah.
it
Well,
wasn't
it's-
taboo,
Right. My father made it very clear when we had company that we weren't going to discuss politics. Like, I was a kid, but he did run for office. He ran for superintendent of the highways. And I remember being awake and like at 1 o'clock in the morning, there was a party going on downstairs. So he won.
Yeah.
So yeah, but so that, and I never really thought much about it, but yeah, so, and I do remember we had a local politician that always went around wanting people's votes, and he had big Hershey bars for the kids.
No.
I'm not even
Kids
kidding.
can't vote.
Really, yeah, exactly.
I think my dad liked Kennedy, even though my dad was a Republican, but it was probably because he was Catholic and he
Right,
was
yeah.
Irish,
Right.
and
And my father was
that-
Catholic, but he did
Yeah.
not like Kennedy.
Yeah. and Jackie Kennedy, because this is just an aside, a funny thing that he used to do to my mom on purpose, because my dad was like that. Every time he saw Jackie Kennedy, he used to say to my mom, "Wow, she's a good-looking woman, isn't she?" My mom used to get so mad at him.
That's so
gosh.
funny. That's so funny. Well, I know both of you, and I know both of you are interested in politics. But what I wanted to ask is, do you remember at what point you started becoming interested in politics?
I do. It was when Barack Obama was,
Right.
that he made me interested in politics. You know, that's when I really, before that I really didn't pay too much attention. You know, I did a bit during the Vietnam War with all the
Right.
protests, but I wasn't really very political back then.
Right.
You know, like I would wear the patches, like war is not healthy for children and other living things,
Right,
and
right.
you know, but I it was really when Obama was taking over for Bush, you know,
Right, right.
and
How about you?
I don't remember much. I mean, I always voted, and
Yes,
that
I always
voting
voted
was,
too,
it
yeah.
was important. But did I get really into it? You know what? It probably was that same election, not because of the significance of Barack Obama or the possibility of having a first female vice president.
Mhm.
You know, it was. I was pregnant at that time, and it was
Yeah.
my first my children and my first children, and I think the significance of now, these people I'm voting in, you know,
Right.
they're
Yeah.
gonna affect
Yeah.
my kids.
Sure.
I need to start paying more attention,
Mhm.
and I think that's when I really started
yeah.
to. And I had a real trouble during that election too. Really, I was undecided completely.
For which one now?
That one, the
Oh,
Obama and
okay.
until I was online. I was
Yeah.
online.
Really? Okay.
And I honestly didn't know who I was going to vote for.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was so torn on what I was doing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because my dad was a staunch Republican, and he voted for Obama. And the reason he voted for Obama is not the reason I think that you should vote for a politician, a president of the United States, was because it was only fair that a black man get in office. And that was his thinking, which made me kind of proud
Yeah.
Yeah.
that he
Yeah.
felt that way.
Yes.
Because that was a big deal, because my father always went
Yeah.
Republican. Okay, so right now we are inundated with those political ads.
I
It's
can't stand them.
just so many of them. So how much do you research about the candidates when it comes to those political ads? Like, do you think, oh, I believe what they're saying about the other one. Oh, yeah. Or do you?
One comment on those, I think just hysterical. We just laugh at them when they come out.
They're
Have you ever
ridiculous.
noticed, like,
Yes.
you know who's doing it because
Yeah.
the bad politician is always in black and white.
Mhm.
Yes.
And then the good politician is always in color. So we
Yeah,
always
and
point out,
smiling, and the
smiling.
photo of the bad
Right,
one
and
was
we're
always like,
oh, so we
Yeah.
just sit there and laugh at
I
my
know.
girls laugh at them. They're like, oh, this one must be a bad. He must be the
Right,
bad guy. And I
right.
go, yeah. I said, but wait, the next commercial, he'll be in color.
Yeah,
you know, by the time those ads come out, it's always very close
Yeah.
to an election.
Yeah.
I already know who I'm going to vote for. Those
Right.
ads aren't affecting anyone.
Right. I feel the
Right.
same
They're really
way.
not. They're
No, they're
just
just-
feeding.
They're just getting the buzzwords out for those people who don't pay attention.
Exactly. That's it. Yeah, trying to hook the people who aren't paying attention,
Right.
who are going to say, oh my God,
No.
Tom Malinowski is raising everyone's taxes.
Yeah,
yeah.
He's a Democrat. Of course he isn't. It's
Right, yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, he voted for that law, but I think it was the taxes were for people who were earning over $400,000.
Right.
But they
And
don't
they say
say that.
everybody's
Yeah.
paying more because of him, and
Right.
And that's why people need to do their homework
Yeah.
and really research it. And it's yeah. So what do you look for in a candidate?
that it's not a Trump supporter right now. That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
That.
I think it changes depending upon what's at stake. I mean, like I said, I think there are times when I voted a party,
Mm-hmm.
and there are times when I get more candidate. And like I think now, because of what is at stake
Mhm.
now is a time when I would vote a party
That's
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, me
rather
too.
than voting
Yep.
candidate. Whereas when I was pregnant, like I said, I like I told you, I was very on the fence of who I was going to vote for because
Right.
the issues for me at that time weren't as
Right.
much as it was right that I had the time to look into the candidates. And I liked both candidates.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The vice president candidate sunk it. for
Yeah.
for the.
Oh my
for-
God,
for
that's
that.
why he.
That's why he
pretty
lost.
much
He didn't get my
it.
vote for that one.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
just couldn't vote
may
for
have
her.
lost anyway.
Yeah. But but
But-
anyway, not going back to the
Yeah.
election, but I'm just
Mhm.
saying that, so there are times when I will vote,
Right.
you know, but this vote
Right.
is about the party for
Yeah.
me. just
I
now.
agree with you.
Yeah.
And before the whole Donald Trump thing, I was never registered in any party. I just
remember you saying
voted,
that, yeah.
you know, the
Yeah.
way I looked at the candidate, what they had to say. I mean, granted, in a presidential election, I don't think I ever voted for a Republican. I always leaned the Democrat, way. But when Donald Trump was running for president, I registered as a Democrat so that I could vote in the primary, because in New York, you have to be registered in the party
Yes.
in order to vote in the primary, which
Right.
is nonsense. Anyway, but and now when I vote at the lowest level election, I don't care. I will not vote for a Republican until Donald Trump is no longer the leader of that party, and because all of them are just in it now to stay in power. They will repeat all the lies,
Yeah.
just to get his base to vote for them, and I think they're putting our country in danger.
Yeah.
So now I say, you're a Democrat, and if there's a Democratic man and a woman, I'm gonna pick the woman, because I'm trying to get women in power.
Well, it depends
too.
on the woman, though, you know.
Democratic woman.
Oh, okay.
I'm not,
Oh,
not
okay.
the Boharts and
Right,
the
right,
Marjorie
right.
Taylor
Right,
Greens
sure,
of the
God.
world.
Do you avoid discussing politics with people you don't know that well?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Absolutely. I'm the one that will say, for the most part, I'll say, especially people I just meet,
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, and they start going in there, and I did this at over the summer, with a woman who was, I said, I have no politics, no religion talk.
Yeah.
And I'll do that for, not even just national, for, law enforcement, the Black Lives Matter movement, for support the blue. I'm not going to go into any of that,
Right.
Right.
discussion. And then, I have felt more comfortable talking about it with more acquaintances, but then, that's burned me, and
Right.
so now it just makes you think, you just can't, it gets really, really tricky. It's hard, I don't know, because my neighborhood is very red, so I'm a very small
We live on
minority.
Long Island. Everybody is. It's
But I
I'm
mean, in
surrounded by
particular,
signs for Zeldin.
And so
But
it gets hard to talk about politics.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, I only discuss politics with people I know are like-minded.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's what you're going to get into an argument with somebody. I'm not going to change their mind. They're not going
Right.
to change my minds.
Right.
So it's almost like a vent.
But
You
you
know.
said something like, you're not going to get in an argument. I think discussions about politics don't always.
Well,
a
now
good
they
one
do.
doesn't have to end in an
Now
argument.
they do. Because
Sure.
if you're arguing against somebody who's a Trump supporter, I mean, they
There's the
don't
word
even have
argue.
any facts. Well, because they don't have the facts. So how do you reason with that person? They're
Yeah.
believing
It's a challenge to
the
reason.
lie of a stolen election, and they're firm in that belief.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you could do to change their mind.
Yeah, so
So
it's,
there's no point in.
But a conversation, just the way I'm coming about, a conversation with somebody about politics doesn't have to be about changing minds. It's just not going along with the lie, or going
Right.
along with, with the misinformation. So what a lot of people, I find, especially when you get in with these groups with the acquaintances or whatever, you don't know,
Right, right.
they're all like-minded, so they'll just start saying things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, it's easy for me to not say something,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I'll just say, I don't agree with that. I know I'm not going to change your mind. You're
Right.
not going to
Yeah.
change mine, but I just don't agree with this. And,
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it. And I'll give my reason if they ask, and then I'll just move on.
Yeah.
But, I'm not going to stay silent about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Because.
And that's good.
But
That's
I
definitely
don't want to get in an argument because I'm not going to change their minds. And
Yeah.
they're not going to change mine.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I know the answer to this one because we all did it, but I said, have you ever participated in a rally or a protest
Yeah.
march?
Yeah.
We all did.
We
The
did.
Women's March.
Yeah, the Women's
What
March.
year was that now? 2018, I think it was.
It was 2019,
I don't know.
18.
Whatever, we did
17,
participate. We still have the bookstore.
I did 16. I did that one with Raising Voices when Trump became president on Inauguration Day.
All right.
It was. And then the next one would have been when was the next one?
He was
18. Maybe
but
it was
I think
18
it was
or 19.
18. I think it was 8. No, I don't think it was 19. It might have been 18.
Yeah.
It was a great
Yeah.
event, and
Yeah.
you know,
And so I don't think that, like I was talking to Sam because they just had a big march in October, and I asked Sam, my daughter Sam, if she was going, the Women's March, and she said, I'm not going to go, Mom. It doesn't really change anything.
That's what I wanted to ask.
And I said, I know it doesn't change anything, but didn't it make us feel better? Didn't it make you feel like
Somewhat.
at least your voice was being heard? You were part of this movement. There was so many people there.
Yeah.
And you don't feel so alone. You feel like,
Yeah.
oh my God, there's a
That's
lot of
true.
American people who
With
know
brains.
what's going on in this country is, damaging us.
you don't know what it may not bring the change you have in mind.
Right.
But there is a change that happens. And the example, we went to that march, the three of us, right?
Yeah.
You documented it, with beautiful
Yeah.
photographs, and we all had our signs.
Right.
And afterwards, probably a few months later, my daughter, I'm not going to say which one, had a class project.
I remember, yeah.
Yes.
And this was the start when I knew that
There was a change in the country.
there was a change in the country, and acquaintances weren't as open-minded, I think. And the project was get together in a group, and I still shake my head when I think about this, and list the big events that happened in New York City or New York within the past 5 or 10 years, whatever. So my daughter came with a list of whatever, big things, weather related,
Right, yeah.
Sandy,
Yeah.
or all this other stuff. The bombing, Brooklyn Bridge, whatever, and went to go work at it at the group's home, and I get a call. First I get a call saying, I don't think she should talk about what happened with the bombing of the terrorists because they're just not. There's too much for them. Now they were in 4th grade, I think it was, and I go, okay. I go, she's going to write about that plane that landed yesterday. I go, what plane? And I do aviation. And I was like, what plane? And so it's this 1-seater plane landed in a field, in a soccer field somewhere.
Oh.
And I go, no injuries or anything. And I'm like, and this is greatest. So I was like, no, we'll come up with another topic. So then Daphne goes, oh, I said her name, sorry. She said, I want to write about you, Mommy. You went at the Women's March, and I was so proud of you.
Aww.
And I go, really? I was like, you want to write about that? And she goes, yes, it was so many. And when I look, it was the biggest social protest movement since the Civil Rights or the Women's March. And we were a part of that.
Yeah.
And that was history. And here, the younger generation is looking at what we did
That's true.
to stand up for not just talking about what we did.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Go for it. Go right. Because it wasn't just about abortion. We were fighting for a lot of things, health care and fair wages and immigration and education.
Right,
and so I go, you go write about that. And Peggy has a lot of pictures you could use.
Yeah.
She was so proud. So dropped her off. Ring, ring, ring. I just think this is too controversial for them to write about. Well, I go, what? Where am I?
Yeah.
I go, so at that point I had enough, and I had to confront these group of moms and said, no.
Yeah.
What
This
was
is
it, the PTA or?
No, it was
Yes.
the group, the moms that the other group, they were working in a group of 5. And I said, this is unacceptable. No, she will write about this because, and she did. Now, the worst part of it is she ended up getting sick, so she couldn't do her public presentation. But she did do the paper, and she did do the presentation.
Right, yeah.
But that's the change. It's seeing that we're putting our money where our mouth is.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And that despite being the non-popular position, and so I did have to have a talk with her because she didn't understand why her friends and their mommies wanted her to
Talk-
change
Yeah.
her
Something
topic,
nice, yeah.
but not everybody else had to change.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And it was a tough conversation. I said, but she's stronger for it,
Yeah.
you know. And so
Definitely.
that's the change you may not think happens,
Mhm.
but it happens. You
Yeah,
know, that's why
that's
it's
true.
important for the
Yeah.
younger
Yeah.
generation to see.
We have like maybe only 2 minutes left or whatever, so I have this question for the two of you. For anyone who doesn't think that their vote matters, what would you say to them?
Oh.
Freedom isn't free.
What is it, Alan?
That's
Freedom.
the first
Yeah.
lesson my father, who's a
Mhm.
political refugee, and I'm very proud of him.
Yeah.
taught me.
Absolutely.
Oh my
When I
gosh.
was 18 years old, I will never forget this, and it mimics your story, Judy.
Hold on.
He made me take off from school on election day,
I got goosebumps.
and he said to me, the first lesson and the only lesson I ever want you to know when it comes to politics, because at that time I didn't really understand what my dad did, and I didn't really appreciate it until I got older,
Yeah.
is that I want you to know that freedom isn't free.
Yeah.
And you need to go and you need to vote, because no matter what anyone tells you, anything that you do comes with a lesson, and anything that you learn comes with a lesson, and I'm going to teach you that your freedom isn't free, because we had
That's
to
good
work
lesson.
to get to
Yep.
this point.
It's an
Oh,
important
yeah.
lesson.
Thank you so
And
much.
I think
That's-
a lot of kids
yeah.
don't understand that these days, and I certainly didn't think anything of it when I was 18 years old. I
Right,
thought my
nobody
dad
does.
is annoying, my dad is bullying me,
Right,
my
right.
Yeah.
dad is forcing me to do
But
something
he was
I don't
coming
wanna
from a
do.
place of experience. I mean, like you
That's right.
said.
From
Yeah.
a place where the freedoms were hard,
Yeah.
hard to have, and
Yeah.
So I
and
think a
fought for
lot
it.
of people, and I don't want to generalize the United States of America, I think a lot of nations don't really honor history the way it should be honored.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a lot
right.
of people don't have access to history the way that I feel it should be taught, with an open mind and not one-sided.
Right.
And I don't like this one-sided like direction we're going in right now, where it's not a left and right issue, it's a human right issue.
Absolutely. You're
And the
absolutely
narrative
right.
This is from our
Change.
audience
Yeah.
member Anya, and I gotta tell you, that really encapsulates what we wanted to say.
Right.
Thank
And
you so
also,
much.
I would say to someone that voting is not only your right, it's your duty as a citizen.
Mhm.
You are part of this country and you need to use your voice.
Before it's taken away.
Uh-huh.
And again,
And use it
remember-
to protect the women.
Yes,
Please.
yes. I know that there are people hanging
And
out by
girls.
the ballot boxes that are trying to be intimidated. Don't let that happen.
Right.
But you know what? Thank you so much. We're almost out of time.
Vote.
And vote. Absolutely.
Vote,
But
vote.
Peggy's got an awesome shirt. Show them.
I don't know if I can because
But-
the desk is in the way.
Well, no, you'll have to read.
No, I can't. It says vote, we're ruthless,
Ruthless.
and it has a picture of
Yeah.
Ruth's lace collar.
I
And
see.
also for people voting in New York, there is a proposition
Yes.
on there for it's for conservation
Yes.
and is to preserve our environment. There is no tax increase.
No tax increase. So
You know, if you hear the Republicans saying that they're going to
Nice.
raise your taxes,
do your research.
it is money that is already part of the budget,
Yes.
and they're just going to slide it over. So please vote yes,
Yes.
for Proposition 1.
Thank you very much. I hope we're still taping. but
Yes.
thank you. And
See you next time.
vote. Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. That was good, Anya. I'm so glad that you shared that. That was awesome. How many